Alrighty, we are going live in about 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty,
Oh
we
no,
are.
I need to mute that. Alright, cool. Video capture, turn that on. And then I need to turn the going live soon off. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Tech Talk. Today is Tuesday, October 16th, 2018, and today is an historic day. And why is it a historic day, you ask? Today, I passed over 500 subscribers for the channel, and it has been a long road. But thank you guys. Thank you, because it is hard to get, YouTube is the hardest platform to get subscribers on, to get followers on. So to get 500, that means a lot to me. I'm officially more than halfway to my goal, which is 1,000 subscribers. And that's all thanks to you. So I appreciate that. YouTube actually, now that I'm speaking about this, is seems to be down. So I'm multicasting. I'm live on Twitch right now. I'm live on Facebook, but I am not live on YouTube, and that is through no fault of my own. So I'm going to have to end up uploading this later. So sorry about that. So today, actually, I'm going to talk about a topic that one of my followers on YouTube, subscribers on YouTube, they asked in a comment last week on my last Tech Talk. And that was, what are the different ways you can go about monetizing an app? They had asked if I'd done a video on this before. And at first I was going to reply because I actually have done a video. I did it back in January. But when I went back and looked at the video, I was having computer issues at the time, so I was using my phone. I had dropped my phone, so the front camera was cracked. It was just really bad quality. I'm probably just going to delete that video after I upload this video. But so I'm just going to basically just reiterate and go more into depth on the different ways that you can go about monetizing your app. Because at the end of the day, that is what vast majority of all app entrepreneurs want to do, is they want to make money off of their apps. So I'm actually going to pull up the comment. I can't because it's on YouTube. Oh man, YouTube needs to get itself together. Oh wait, is it back up? Are we live on YouTube now? Nope, still down. I don't know what's going on with them. All right, anyway, I can't pull up the comment because it's on YouTube and YouTube's down. But long story short, it was from one of my subscribers, Emporia Prime. And, they had elaborated on how they had seen apps that they thought were, stupid, or, that didn't really appeal to them, which we all see apps that we think, man, that app is stupid, but it's making like $1 million, right? So he just wanted me to reiterate on the different app monetization. Before I get into this deeply, go ahead and like and share this video, because there are a lot of people, whether they're developers or not, who are interested in this topic. How do apps make money? We live in an era where within less than 10 years, you can have a $1 billion application, i.e. Instagram, i.e. Snapchat. So how are these companies doing this? How are these companies upsetting and overthrowing companies that have been around for 50, 75, and in some cases over 100 years? What ways are they able to accomplish this? And how can you, as an app developer or as an app investor, capitalize on these trends? So the first and the one that is the most obvious to people is ad monetization. So you see this all the time on websites, particularly news articles. See, ad monetization is actually what helped put a knife in print, in like print news. most people nowadays don't pick up a newspaper to read. They just go on, CNN.com or what have you. So a big reason was because independent journalists were able to put out blogs, and these blogs were able to go viral, and they were able to monetize and be able to support themselves while actually giving news that was, more relevant to the people. And that was before corporations started getting into it and kind of messing the whole thing up. But I digress. Ads is the quickest way to get money on an app or a website that you are trying to monetize. The premise is simple. You use an ad affiliate. The most common is Google AdSense. And, they give you this tag that you embed in your website, if it's in the case of a website, or a piece of code that you can put in your iOS or Android application if it's a mobile application. And ads pay over two different ways. You have cost per impression and cost per click. Okay. And cost per impression, a lot of times also called cost per mille, because it's per 1,000 impressions. So for every 1,000 impressions, and it could be 1,000, could be 10,000, just depends on what the ad affiliate is. But whatever cost of X impressions, you get Y amount of dollars. So for every 1,000 impressions, you might get $1.50. So every time an ad banner rotates 1,000 times, they'll pay you $1.50. Though that usually works really well if you have an independent website or an independent app that gets a lot of traffic, and you have people who are staying there for long periods of time. Okay, because the longer that they're there, the more ad rotations, and the more people you have, the more ad rotations. So the more people who are there for a long time is even more ad rotations. The second way that ads can pay are called cost per click. Now, cost per click typically pays more than cost per mille, but it is also a lower throughput. Less people click on ads. I mean, how many ads in your lifetime have you clicked on? Probably not a whole lot. Me personally, I only click on ads if they are extremely relevant to something I'm doing that's usually related to coding. I get a lot of ads for coding. Actually, when I did my native script stream last week, I explained how I actually found out about native stream by seeing an ad on Laravel's documentation. There was an ad up in the upper left-hand corner. It said, build truly native apps with JavaScript. And I was like, I was looking at React Native at the time. It intrigued me. I clicked on the ad. But that's very few and far between. But I digress, back to the point. Cost per click, they pay you X amount of dollars, and and it's not unreasonable to be like $5 to $6 per click. And the more clicks you get, the more money you get. And then there's so that's ads. Those basically the two different ways. Now you might find ad affiliates that have like a hybrid approach or what have you, but it's still typically the same thing, right? The next way that you can monetize your app or your website is through affiliate networks. Now this is kind of a hybrid of it's kind of a hybrid of ads, because essentially you're having a third party put their products on your platform. So think about Amazon affiliate, right? You can get these links from Amazon.com. You can put them on your blog. And if people click that link, let's say I'm selling computers from Amazon.com, and I'm putting them on my website. If you were to click on that link, it'll take you to Amazon.com to check out. But in the URL, it has my little affiliate code. And then once you check out, then I get a commission. Let's just say 10%. So if that computer costs $1,000, I get $100. Lots of lots of shopping applications use this kind of network, including Amazon. The third way. Now I'm going in order of like easiest to implement but least amount of money, and it goes up to being like more complicated to implement but you get more money. Okay. The third way is through direct sales, through something that you are owning. So let's since we're talking about mobile apps and web apps, let's use the example of video games. Okay. Candy Crush, that's what it was called. In Candy Crush, they're making bukus of dollars, and the way that they're making is by selling all these extra lives, right? So Candy Crush has, however many millions of users. I could look it up, but I'm not going to right this second. If somebody wants to look it up and let me know in the chat, that'd be clutch. But in any case, they have X millions of users who play. Out of those X millions of users who play daily, there is another subset of Y users who buy extra lives. Like what was it a couple years ago? There was that viral video of that guy who or that viral story of that guy who maxed out his mom's credit card buying Candy Crush lives. I was in college then, so that was more than a couple years ago. It was like 5 years ago. But yeah, I mean that's just one person. It was like $5,000 or $10,000 all spent on Candy Crush. That's an addiction. But anyway, I digress. So indirect sales, you see that a lot in video games. You're seeing Fortnite. Fortnite's $1 billion game. Okay. The trend used to be, and we're starting to see it wean off. Who remembers PlayStation 2 games? Or PlayStation 1 games for that matter, when it went up to PlayStation 2 and the price went up to $49.99. And everybody was like, man, $50 a game. And then Xbox 360 and them came out, and then it was $59.99. He's like, yeah, we bitched and complained, but we paid the $60 to get our game. Well, now the trend is going to put the game out for free, and you can play multiplayer for free. But if you want to play story mode, you have to either buy a season pass or a one-off purchase. And if you want to play multiplayer and you want to have extra skins for your character, extra dances, emotes, or what have you, then you have to pay for this. Now, this is called the micro purchase or micro sales approach. You're doing a whole bunch of little sales because most of these, ranging from $1 to, some of them might expensive. You start buying like packs, like coin packs, or you can buy like a year supply of stuff for like $99. And some are even, in the hundreds of dollars. And if you're a professional gamer, then it actually makes sense to do to make these kind of purchases because people want to see you live stream with playing Fortnite with the latest skins. They want to see people do that. So for some people it makes sense, but other people, they just go crazy with it. The next way that you can monetize your apps. Oh man, sorry. Got over a cold recently. Anyway, the next way that you can monetize your apps is through the subscription model. Okay. So the subscription model, you pay X rate, and usually it's tiered up. And once again, you can usually have like it's a freemium model. So you have a free version with limited features, and you can pay upgrade, for like small business, and then they have like enterprise, and then after that it's like special pricing or whatever. And usually, you can pay monthly or yearly. And usually if you pay yearly, then you give a discount to your customers. This is how I make money on a lot of my apps through the subscription model. That, and coupled with the next model that I'll speak on here in a second. But however, the subscription model is really cool because once you get volume, you're getting consistent. You're getting consistent returns. So I have a colleague who started a music streaming service, and him and a DJ he works with, and it's $10 a month. And last time I spoke to him, they already had 1,000 paying customers. So 10 times 1,000 is $10,000 a month. That's $120,000 to $125,000 a year off of one app. Kudos to my brother. I'm not going to name drop because he didn't give me permission to. However, the subscription model, if you have multiple apps that are making, thousands of dollars in a subscription base, that's much more stable than having an app where you're getting thousands of dollars, but they're one-off purchases, or that they are ad-based. And let me tell you why. Because customers who use your service, every month that a customer continues to use your service, that gives a signal that your service is vital to either some part of their business or some part of their life. So the longer that you have a customer using your application and they're paying for it, the more secure that customer becomes, as long as you're keeping that customer happy, of course. And that includes, doing upgrades. That's one thing that I think independent entrepreneurs, a mistake that they make is that they'll make an app and it'll get to a point where it's financially successful, but then they stop working on the app. Now, when people are paying you for an app, part of that money is supposed to be going back into redevelopment of your app, because you want to give them incentive to keep paying, because there's always going to be competition and someone who's going to try to one up your application to take your customer base. So now that they're getting that money, does that make sense? Let me go ahead and check and see if YouTube is up. YouTube was down when I started streaming, and it is still down. I don't know what's going on over there in YouTube, but they need to get it up. Before I go on to the next topic, let me go ahead and, so you guys are probably seeing this bar right here that says new streaming setup. I'm doing a donation drive that's going to last until my birthday, January 8th, 2019. Goodness. I'm trying to get a new streaming setup. I want to get new cameras, new video equipment. I want to start doing some more IRL or in real life streams. So, I'm going to need battery packs and stuff like that. So I'm trying to raise $1,000 to get the separate equipment, and not gonna bum and ask you guys, but if people have asked how they can support the stream, some people, not everybody wants a t-shirt and what have you. So if you do want to donate to the stream and help with my drive until January 8th, you can head over to streamlabs.com/jplayer01. That was my old original YouTube name, and it pulled from that, and I couldn't change it afterwards, if you're wondering what the jplayer01 is. But anyway, now where was I? So another business model, another way that you can make money for your apps is the I don't know what the technical name is. I call it the Uber model, right? So anybody can sign up and anybody can make money. Anybody can make money, right? So the Uber model. Oh wow, Richard Spencer's is blowing up my phone on Twitter. I'll have to check that. But anyway, the Uber model, anybody can sign up and put in their payment information. And then when they make a sale in the app, they get a percentage, that usually the majority of the percentage. And then your platform app makes the rest of the percentage. So like, you know, I think with Uber, I want to say it's like 8% or, what have you, something like that. So, so let's say the ride costs $100. The driver get $92. Uber gets $8. My math may be off. I don't know where I'm getting that 8% from. I want to say I read it was 8% or it used to be 8% or what have you. But that's how my app Treat Me at Home works, right? So Treat Me at Home, anyone can sign up and become a service provider. Okay. Well, one of the ways, because another thing I'm going to talk about is your app should have multiple monetization strategies, but that's another talk. Treat Me at Home, anybody can sign up and they can offer services. And then when they offer the services, the platform, we take 5%. But instead of actually deducting it from what the provider takes home, we actually calculate that percentage, add it on top, and then we just charge the end user. So we use Stripe for our payment processor, right? So Stripe is going to take 2.7 or 2.9%, around 3%, okay? And then we need our 5%, and then the provider, they need their full 100% of what they ask for. So I think in the case of if you wanted to charge $100 for a session, then the platform would have to charge, I think it was like $113 or $110, something like that. So the way the math worked out, we got $5 because it's 5% of 100 is 5. Stripe got Stripe got however much money they were going to get, the 3%, and then the provider would get their full $100. Now you could also do it the opposite way, where the end user just gets charged the $100, and then when the money's being sent, then you take $5 to the platform, and then you send $95 to the provider. So those are basically the different ways that you can monetize an app. Now let's talk about business models. Okay, when you're developing an app, it is always important to have multiple streams of income inside of your app. So you should have multiple streams of income anyway, like multiple apps, but each app should have multiple streams of income within that app. So if you have a portfolio of multiple apps that have multiple streams of income, then you can just do that math. So I always advocate to when someone wants to go and put out an app and they want to put out a service. Me personally, I always advocate for building a SaaS app. And for those of you who are not familiar with what SaaS stands for Software as a Service. Okay. So a SaaS app would include, something like Uber. Okay. It is a service that you use, a taxi service that you use through software. And the thing about SaaS apps is that the SaaS apps that make the most amount of money actually provide a value to someone's life. It provides so much value that they're willing to pay for it, whether it is a subscription-based model and it's something they're paying for yearly, monthly, weekly, what have you, or it is a in one-off charge model like Uber. You don't just use Uber whenever you need it, but you're going to need it. I can't tell you how many people out in Silicon Valley. Okay, William, did you get that paperwork? I'll call you after the stream. if you're up. I'll call you and make sure we can get all that done. But what was I saying? What was I saying? Yeah. Anyway, multiple streams of income in your app. So you should provide a SaaS app that gives some sort of service that is integral to someone's life. Now, whether you're developing an application that is targeted towards developers, whether you're developing an app that is targeted towards businesses, whether you're developing an app that's targeted towards house mothers, it doesn't matter what your niche is. That's a whole other separate talk. And that might be my Thursday address. Actually, I think I might speak on choosing your target audience for your application. But I digress. So, whoever your target audience is, your app needs to provide such a value to that audience that they're willing to pay for it. And, doing things like blogging, right? There's tons of blogs that make 6-7 figures a year, but the amount of time and energy it takes to build up a media platform and run it solely based off ads, or even if you're doing one-off sales, you're selling merchandise or what have you on your blog, the time it takes to build up and the capital is still, and even in this day and age where it's still cheaper, it still takes quite a bit of capital to, if you're if you're trying to do it quickly, you need to do the ad route, and that's going to take money. Writing an app, to me, the time to income ratio is rarely worth it. So I always advocate, go for something where you can charge a service fee or a subscription fee. That being said, if you want to offer a freemium model where people can use it for free, then of course you would want to put ads on that side, so you're still getting revenue. Now, perfect example of this is Facebook. Facebook said they made a claim a few months ago, said there will always be a version of Facebook that will be free. Well, when I hear that, I'm hearing that Facebook Pro is going to end up coming out soon, where you can pay for an ad-free experience. That may not be the case, but I don't know why Mark Zuckerberg would say it like that otherwise. But yeah, so if you're going to have a freemium version, then of course you want to put in some sort of ads, or typically just ads, or unless you're going to do a whole bunch of in-app purchases. Which goes back to another thing, if you decide you want to do in-app purchases, that's fine and dandy, but once again, you really need to build up traffic before you can really demand that type of demand that people pay you. And the reason for that is because, okay, let's take Angry Birds. When Angry Birds first came out, right, I believe I was a freshman in college when Angry Birds first came out. I don't believe they had you could buy the extra lives and stuff like that. I may be mistaken, but I don't believe that you could. And that's good. Because when your app only has a few thousand downloads, nobody has incentive to want to look at your store. You're still trying to prove yourself, right? So these are stuff you got to think about. A lot of people, when they when they put out their app, they have gilded sunglasses on, right? They're looking at the world through money. They're looking at the world through thinking about only the positive of what their app could potentially bring in terms of income, but they're not thinking about how long it'll take to get there. And typically they don't realistically look at all the hurdles they need to overcome to get there. Now, any application can make money. Now, don't get me wrong, but in order for it to do that, especially depending on what the app is, you just have to go through you have to do the right steps, go through the right channels. Have I missed anything? You know, something that is really popular now that I'm seeing are these door delivery services. You guys notice that? It's like stuff like not DoorDash, Blue Apron, and I can't remember the name of the one for the kids. They do the science. You get a different science project every month sent to your door, stuff like that. You know, those are typically, I think all, if not all of them, are subscription based. And think about that for a second. Think about that business model, okay? Because they're doing they have drop shipping. You know, the coder, the person who made these apps, they're not sitting there delivering the food or delivering the science projects. They built an app, they built a platform, they built a partnership with people who can deliver the product. In the case of Blue Apron, I believe they partner with different chefs to like get the recipes, and then I'm pretty sure they just like produce them in mass and ship them out. Or you know, whoever produces them ships them out. And in the case of the startup that does the science projects, you know, it's probably the same deal. They have, because I believe most, if not all of them, are like cardboard based, so that's like next to nothing to mass produce. Probably out in China or somewhere out there, getting them dirt cheap, and then they just send them out through UPS or whatever. The person who actually wrote the app doesn't have to lift a finger. So when you're developing your apps, or when you're developing your concepts for your apps, think about the ways that you can monetize that's going to give you the longest lifespan for your application. Remember what I talked about last week in my last tech talk about the lifespan of your app. It's going to give you the longest lifespan with the easiest scalability, with the best time to income ratio. And that's going to change and depend, you know, that's not something that you're going to be able to like think of in 5 minutes. It's something you're going to have to think about over the course of weeks, maybe months, hell, maybe years, depending on, you know, how big your project is. So don't rush it. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do a live stream finishing up our native script tutorial. I've been busy trying. We're past the deadline with my clients. We're trying to meet that, you know, get things wrapped up. It's all hands on deck. So that's why I wasn't able to stream yesterday and why I'm late streaming tonight. But anyway, guys, I will talk to everyone later. And don't forget to please like and share this video. And if you want to help out the stream, if you want to contribute to the stream and the channel, there's a couple ways you can do that. First of all, I'm selling merchandise on my website. I do have my video course from new to artisan, remastering some of the video content, upgraded with the latest version of Laravel 5.7. So I have the source code and the video course. I have my Code Life t-shirts as well as my Code Life hoodies. And I'm actually going to be putting these on Streamlabs, so you'll see links to all that up on the next video. In addition, like I said, I am doing a donation drive until January 8th, 2019, which is my birthday. and I'm trying to raise $1,000 for a new streaming setup so I can be more mobile. I want 2019. I really want to start traveling to conferences more. I did a lot of that this year, and like the Neo conference, that you guys love that. Not having the right mobile setup really hinders my experience when I go out to these conferences. So I want to get better mics, um, you know, get just better equipment overall, including stuff for my in-home stream. So those are all the different ways you can help contribute. But like I said, guys, I appreciate everything. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow to do the live coding. But if not, I will definitely be back here Thursday, and we will be talking about choosing your niche and choosing your target audience for your application. All right. Talk to you guys later.